All right. Hey, welcome back to the Go for CEO channel with your boy, John the Bomb Andrade. Yes, the bomb. Building others means business. I'm starting to use that personal branding, and I hope that you like it because that is what I am about. Building others meaning business. And on Go for CEO, we have a community of CEOs, founders, entrepreneurs, and entrepreneurs that we've been able to interview throughout the last year, and we're growing that portfolio. But today is Separation Saturday, where we take you through. Today is going to be about P&L. That's profit and loss statements in two different types of businesses. So the first one is a manufacturing business. I'm going to share with you some of the expenses that they go through to be able to build a distribution manufacturing business. Then the second one is going to be more of a retail business in the wedding space, gowns and tuxedo rentals and those types of things. And I really want you to take the next 10, 15, 20 minutes that I'm going to do this video and understand the things that are controllable, right? When you run a business, there is income that's coming in and there's outflow expenses that are going out. And that's called the profit and loss, that a very simple way, right? So let's go ahead and start with the manufacturer's business. So this manufacturing business, is doing business in a way where they are importing outside of the country of the US and bringing these parts into the manufacturing world, right, that they do in the camper and trailer space. Okay. And if you think about it, that is a very hot space right now. Things are booming, and this is a multi-million-dollar business. Okay. And what they've been able to do is really try to make sure that they're leading in the camper and trailer space and the axle space, especially. And I think that you'll love this breakdown today. So if you think about, here's a business that has rolled in a few $1,000,000 the first quarter of 2021. Okay. They're growing pretty nice. But then if you take their cost of sales, it's technically around 50% of the sales amount, 50% of it in cost. The second part is cost of goods sold. Then the next one is cost of sales labor, right? See, there's three different areas: cost of sales, cost of goods sold, cost of labor, and the last one, cost of freight. Now, the freight one, not too bad, about less than 5%. And so they've been controlling these costs and really making sure that they have a good, profitable way. So if you think about the gross profit and those costs, that gets you to a gross profit. Now we're talking about expenses. Now here's a manufacturing distribution business. The things that they expense and they have to basically be aware of: advertising expense, amortization expense. That basically means what they're amortizing, right, of their current either inventory or even amortization of loans and those types of things. So auto expense, bank charges, custom border protection fees, dues and subscription expense, employee benefit programs expense. That alone right there, employee benefits programs expense, $11,000 a year. Okay. Equipment expense, insurance expense, insurance expense liability, interest expense, legal and professional expense. That's another 13 grand. Okay. License expense, maintenance expense, marketing and promotion expense, meal and entertainment expense, merchant services charges expense, office expense, parking and toll expense, payroll and processing fees. So I'm going to keep on going here because I want to set a point of the amount of expenses in a manufacturing distribution type of business. All right. Payroll processing fee expense, payroll tax expense, rent or lease expense. There's another $56,000 for renting or leasing. You may want to start thinking about, right, buying a permanent place so that equity that you're building by making payments can start to come back. But there are some reasons why you also do rent or lease. All right. Rent or lease expense, vehicle, repairs expense, research and development expense, shipping and postage expense, supplies expense, wages expense, telephone and internet expense, travel expense, utilities expense, warehouse expense, and website expense. Website expense, 10 grand. Hey, if you want to build something fantastic, you really have to invest on the tools that are out there in the marketplace. So if you take a look at that, total expenses for this particular company is $1,336,227.61. All right. And if you think about the list of expenses that I shared, one of the things about this video is I want you to start to think about, what if you bought that business? What if you started managing that business? What if you start understanding where are some areas that you could evaluate and pluck out a savings of 1,000 here, 2,000 there, 3,000 here, 7,000 there. If you think about the biggest expense on this expense chart is wages, is payroll tax expense, rent or lease expense. You got insurance expense liability, 84,000. Can you believe that if you went to a broker possibly and been able to broker out, instead of just being loyal to one insurance company, broker out with an agent to be able to get a varied amount of proposals? And what if that 84,000 went down to 62,000? That would be $22,000 of pure profit coming back, of savings to your bottom line, to be able to make a net income more profitable and more valuable for your business. So again, this is an exercise on your P&L, profit and loss. So that was one of the ways, or one of the types of companies, I'm sorry, that is a manufacturing distribution business. Now, let's switch the gears here. Let's go to a retail. It's more of a tuxedo rental, bridal gowns, those types of things. And we're talking about expenses, right? So revenues coming in several $100,000. Okay. We're just talking about a small quarter here. Okay. Or first quarter. So we're talking about cost of goods, right? And those types of things, cost of goods sold, right? And stock purchasing, subcontracting expenses, rental stock expenses. These are all things that are cost of goods to get to your gross profit. All right. Now, let's talk about some of the ways that they're different. If you remember, the manufacturing distribution business had a myriad of expenses and things that you really had to control to be able to make it a little bit tighter and see some of the ways that you can maybe save some money and put some things back. But now at retail, we're talking about payroll expenses, salary and wages expenses, advertising expenses, auto expense, okay, email maintenance expense, bank charges expense, software subscription expense, daily display expense, donations and contributions expense, dues and subscriptions expense, equipment rental, meals, freight expense, education and training, gift, insurance, website, internet, and interest expense. As you can see, the expenses list is shorter, but depending on the type of business, they could be just as much, comparatively speaking, to what your current gross profits are, to be able to get to total of your net profit, right? Now, there are more. There's actually laundry expense in this one. There's heirloom package system expense. There's marketing expense, medical expense, office expense, outside services expense, janitorial expense, postage expense, printing expense, professional fees, rent expense, repairs expense, scavenger expense, promotional items expense, show expense, supplies expense, state income expense, travel expense, utilities, trunk, and shipping. So, boy, we added to that list, right? So if you think about it, there's tons of expenses in your business. But if you bring in $1 and you start to control that $1 coming in, and being able to compartmentalize to the expenses that you'll have, you'll start to control your P&L more. One of the things too is to review your current vendors on a 6 to 12 month basis. Why are you loyal to vendors that keep on creeping their price? Is there an opportunity, unless there is a fantastic relationship and they service your needs and it is almost priceless to be with them? It is good to evaluate your vendors, right? A vendor could be in a retail position, could be the products that are being sold to you, could be the merchant services that you're providing or that you're doing, postage expenses. It could be payroll companies' expense. Those are vendors that work with you. In the manufacturing side, it could be the manufacturing people that you work with, maybe internally or externally importing things. It could be freight expense. It could be customs and dues expense, and understanding what are certain types of government, affiliations, and doing what they're doing to be able to increase those expenses through tariffs and taxes, or if they're decreasing them depending on the marketplace and what's going on. So I hope that you're getting what it is to run two types of businesses, one in the manufacturing and distribution business and one in the retail kind of gowns and rental tux business. So seeing the difference, but also understanding the similarities in a P&L is crucially important so that you can make some educated decisions in lowering your expenses and increasing your sales to become a more profitable business today. So this is John the Bomb. Building others means business. And we are excited for you to keep on joining our Go for CEO channel. Keep on learning some of the things. We'll have some visuals in the future. We're building up some great momentum to the things that we're trying to teach. And at a small to medium-sized business, startup to about 25 million has kind of been our sweet spot, but we go all the way to $1 billion if we have to in the small, medium-sized space. All across the world, we're attracting so many people and so many different interviews. I hope that you'll go ahead and subscribe to the channel and smash the like button and tell me a little bit of feedback of what you think about this short video on P&L, profit and loss. Thank you so much.